Back in 1996, the very first thing that you saw in the opening FMV was a snake. The camera panned out of the snake's eye, and if you look there in the bottom left, the snake still lives. Well, until this happens. He probably doesn't survive that. Though it could be wrong. Maybe he's pretty resilient and built to last, you know? I don't know. I'm not a snake, so I don't know if they can survive an explosion or not. I would certainly hope not, because I'm not a fan of snakes. Oh, that sounds painful. So hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good lord, ladies and gentlemen. We're up and running and off to a great start. My name is Winter, and welcome to Tomb Raider Anniversary. If you've never played this game before, then obviously you should expect spoilers for it, and I do intend to go a little bit in depth when talking about Tomb Raider as a whole. So if you've never played any Tomb Raider game before, then you might have a few spoiled for you. I don't really know for sure yet. I don't have a set plan for this or anything, and that's not what I wanted to do. I've got some bullet points, and that's about it. There's no roadmap or anything. We've just got a final destination with a few gas stations marked on the map, you know, so we can pull over for a restroom break once every couple of hours or whatever. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for every single relic and artifact here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tomb Raider 96 versions of these levels and a little bit about how they're different and how they're similar. The beautiful thing about this game, what I really like about it, is that it is the same thing as the 96 version, but there's enough differences between this and the original Tomb Raider that essentially you've got two different versions of the same game. There's a couple of sets of levels that are entirely different from their 96 counterparts, and then there's some that are almost exactly the same. So what I dig is I think that if you're a fan of the original Tomb Raider, then you would probably enjoy this, and if you're a fan of this, then you would probably enjoy the 96 version. Now granted, there are people out there that absolutely prefer one over the other, you know, people that can't stand one version and vice versa. Some people don't like Tomb Raider altogether, and I'm gonna venture to guess that there's probably none of those people watching this, you know, unless they're just bored to tears, in which case, welcome. You know, I'm not gonna discriminate or anything like that. This is the PlayStation 3 version of this game. This was originally released on PlayStation 2 and came out on the PlayStation Portable, I believe, the PSP. And I think came out for Xbox 360, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure if the 360 was around at the time, so it may have just come out on Xbox, but I'm not an Xbox guy, so I can't comment yay or nay on that. That's just kind of speculation on my part. And it was also released for PC. Now, I went with the PS3 version over the PlayStation 2 version because even though this thing is glitchy, I mean, we're going to run into a couple of things for sure. I always do every time I play this game. It does look better. It transitions better through the software than the PlayStation 2 version does. So I wrestled back and forth between which version to go with, and nobody said that they had a preference. So I thought, well, okay, it does look better, and the environments, you know, the details really show up a lot more, so I figured, fuck it, we'll go with it. And the glitches will give us something to laugh at as we get to them, because they're pretty strange sometimes. But I'm talking a little bit too much, so let's, well, first off, let's kick this down, because for some reason, and that may seem kind of dark to you guys, going all the way down to 30, but in this PlayStation 3 version, like, everything is fucking bright as shit on the default 50 setting right there. And especially Lara. In fact, it doesn't matter what kind of brightness level you set this at. Like, I could take it all the way down to 0. Lara would still be bright as shit in the cutscenes and in the gameplay. Very strange how that worked out. But anyways, let's get into this thing, huh? No, after the loading screen, which I honestly forgot was there. So apologies for that. And I like how they actually kept it taking place in 1996 instead of 2006 when this came out.
Now what's a man gotta do to get that sort of attention from you?
If that's the sort of attention you want, Larson, you're well on your way.
Sounds like fun, but I'm only here to make an introduction. Lara Croft, meet Jacqueline Natla of Natla Technologies.
Good afternoon, Miss Croft. My research department has recently turned its focus to the study of ancient artifacts, and I'm led to believe that with the right incentive, you're just the woman to find them for me.
I'm afraid you've been misled. I only play for sport.
Yeah, for now.
Precisely why I've come to you, Miss Croft. This is a game you've played before, with your father.
Dominoes.
You both spent years searching for the Scion of Atlantis. All you needed was the location of Qualopec's tomb.
You found Vilcabamba.
How quickly can you get to Peru?
Well, I think it's about a 12-hour flight from where I live. Though I could be wrong on that. Maybe less. I haven't flown in quite a while. I'm not fond of airplanes.
Vilcabamba continues to elude us, and my insistence that we press on in spite of these failures has morale low. I suspect Jenkins to be the author of this sedition. He simply refuses to accept the possibility that Atlantis is the foundation upon which all known civilizations were built. Increasingly, I find it is Lara alone who remains untainted by academic dogma and open-minded enough to see this truth.
Always nice to hear from Hinishingly. I refuse to call him Richard because we're purist around here. And that's why you should inspect your ladders.
Lo siento. No traje bastante cuerda.
Not to worry. I'll find another way up.
And send you a bill for a new ladder. Because they're not cheap. Yeah, here we go. PlayStation 3 version. As you can see, looks quite a bit more detailed than the PS2 version. I think the main details that are different here in this particular area are the clouds. I don't think they looked that good in the PlayStation 2 version. Which is kind of funny that they look a little bit better here, because when the fuck do you honestly look at them? So, it's a little bit strange that they kind of emphasize that. You know, I would have been okay with a clear blue sky. But, whatever. Yeah, Hinishingly. Good guy. Good guy. Strangely renamed Richard after Tomb Raider. The 96 version. And this is quite a bit different than the opening area in the 96 game. In the 96 game, it just kicked off with an FMV, if I remember correctly. I dig that piano music, man. That's cool. That's a nice touch. It's a subtle, ominous chord progression, I guess you could say. I don't know if it's called a chord progression on a piano. You know, I'm not a pianist. I kind of play a little bit of guitar, and we would call it a chord progression on that. I would, anyways. But yeah, in 96, you just kind of went through that opening FMV, and then the FMV we're going to get after I press the triangle button there. And then you were just thrown into the game. So let's hit the triangle button and get thrown into the game. Pixelation on the shadow. I've never seen anybody not do that. Right there, I think you're supposed to see eyes in the darkness. Definitely there for sure. I remember those in the PS2 version. Lara Croft is the only person alive who can shoot a gun, not have a muzzle flash in a game that typically would have one for dramatic effect, and also just kill a wolf by shooting a gun next to its ear and making it lose its hearing on one side of its head. That's a death sentence, man. Yeah, we don't need to be stylish where we're going. So this area here is always interesting for me, because there's something here that I did not know about in the PlayStation 2 version until I actually played this version and was scrolling through the trophy list. So you see this little thing that I'm on right here? If we go up here and grab the switch and shoot over here and drop down onto the other switch, we kill the arrows. I never fucking knew about that until I was trophy hunting for that. I never even noticed it in the PlayStation 2 version. Never saw anybody talk about it or anything, and it's kind of odd that it's actually there because they're not hard to dodge. You know, you can easily just roll through them or even run through them, but you can shut them off here for some reason, so that doesn't help whenever people say that, you know, the Crystal games are a lot easier than the core era Tomb Raiders, which they are, I'll admit that. But it's a little, I don't know, I just always found it funny that that's there. You know, I mean, what is the fucking point of that? I would like to think that it's in, you know, it exists to kind of train people to study their environment and kind of look around for multiple solutions to get through an area. But besides that, off the top of my head, I can only think of 2 other areas that have a sort of dismantling of an environmental trap such as that, and we won't get to those areas until much later into the series. In fact, it'll probably be episode 7 or 8. You know, this game is it's fairly linear, just get from point A to point B, which there's nothing wrong with, by the way, but I don't know, little workarounds like that I don't really see the point of. I mean, it's cool to give people something to discover, such as myself, that, you know, didn't know about that, and my goodness, I didn't think I was going to make that. But yeah, it's a little bit wasted, I think. And if you can't tell, we're getting trophies on this PlayStation 3 version. We're not going to be going for a full trophy hunt. We're not going to go for the whole list, but we're going to get some. Just because, why not? I thought it might be cool. Of course, these artifacts, I like these. I dig the fact that you actually get collectibles in this and in Legend. Because in the 96 game, there were no collectibles other than things like med packs and keys that you would need anyways to actually progress through the level. Other than that, there was really nothing to do besides just kind of play the game, and that didn't work out the way I thought it would. But that's alright, because we're still alive. Oh, tried for a swan dive and failed. I really dig this game, though. You know, this was the second Tomb Raider game that I ever played. The first one was Legend, and as soon as I finished Legend, I was literally in the store the next day. I mean, the very next day. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the next day I went looking for Underworld and Anniversary because I did some looking online and saw that, you know, they were part of a... Well, now they're repackaged as a trilogy. I don't really think it's a trilogy. I think it's a 2-part story with a prequel squashed in. And this would be the prequel. And even then, it's not really a prequel. You know, there's just a... there's one character that may or may not make an appearance in Underworld from this game. But other than that, it's really, I don't think, related to Legend or Underworld. You know, that trilogy packaging, that's just a marketing ploy. That's just something to get people to go, oh, it's a great value. I've got the entire story in one package. Yeah, not really. I mean, kind of, sort of, but for the most part, no. Of course, I could very well be wrong on that. And if I am, feel free to let me know. I don't really see any correlation other than one character. So that's just me though. I've never really sat down and done a full-on analysis on the storyline of Legend, Underworld, and Anniversary, so it's a possibility that I'm wrong on that. I won't deny that that possibility exists, because I don't go swimming in denial. In fact, that's an entirely different continent from where I'm at, so I couldn't even if I wanted to. Oh, now this little bastard right here. I always struggle getting this thing. I can never remember which part of that little ledge I'm supposed to swing towards, though I think it's this one here. Probably not. Nope. Oh, what's that? It's a Berenstein! There we are. Music's pretty good, though. I like it. I dig the fact that most of the themes from Tomb Raider 1, or TR-96 if you're nasty, have been just sort of updated with modern synthesizers and production values and, you know, shit like that. But for the most part, all of the music is retained. For the most part. I mean, there's a couple of missing tracks, which is unfortunate because one of those missing tracks is one of my favorite pieces of music from any Tomb Raider game. So that's a shame, but everything is almost everything is accounted for. How about that? But we'll get into the music much later on. Right now I want to do a little bit of backtracking and shoot down here. And we're going to go for another artifact. Yay! A shiny in the darkness for my lady, Lara Croft. Arrgh. And I just wasted some time by coming over here when I didn't need to. See, that's what I get for trying to be a fucking smart-ass, funny man, be funny guy. I get distracted and play like a moron. Good sound design in this area too. The whole game, actually. Tomb Raider games, though, since Crystal has taken them over, as far as I'm concerned, and this is just, you know, personal opinion here, so don't treat it as the word or anything like that, but I think Tomb Raider probably has some of the best sound design in gaming today. And even back in 2004 or 2005, whenever Crystal Dynamics released Legend. That was 2005, right? Because this followed, like, literally the next year. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I wasn't playing back then. I was late to the party. But listen to the sounds of the arrows in this upcoming area. Oh. Oh my god, that's terrible. Son of a bitch, that's embarrassing. That's almost as bad as drowning in the first water area in this game. But yeah, listen to these arrows, man. That's good stuff. Oh! And they hurt. Now, an interesting thing about, well, this is on my mind. An interesting thing about, well, actually, we'll get to that here in a moment. Oops, wrong button. Let's see what Miss Lara has to say about this situation.
There must be a way to open this door.
Deep thoughts if I've ever heard them. Quite the intellect. And the philosopher. Kind of an interesting thing about this game in terms of the difficulty is I never have noticed a difference between the settings. Everything seems to play out the same regardless if you play it on hard, easy, Or was it medium or normal? Oh, the wolf's already there. Look at that shit. How did you do that? You normally wait. The only thing I can think that might be different between the modes is how much damage the enemies actually do. And even then, it's pretty slim if there is a difference, because again, I've never personally noticed one, but that's me. I think the biggest difference is, oh wait, hang on, let me rephrase this here. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit early this morning. I'm kind of just waking up, so I'm still trying to get with it, but I mean, there's no difference like you would expect, like enemies taking less bullets to kill, or taking more or less, I should say. You know, it's all the same in terms of how much damage you can deal to them. So the only thing I can think that might be different is how hard they hit. And even then, it's not a significant change as far as I can tell. But again, that could be something else that I'm wrong on. So if anybody's actually noticed a difference, feel free to let me know, man, because I would really love to know. There we go. The first of several impractical ways to open a door that we're going to see in this game. But it's a good set piece, and it's ominous as fuck. Of course, this area in the 96 version, this little opening right up there where you can kind of see the sky, that's where we came down into this area in the original game. And then we had to actually go down and run the gauntlet of arrows and then shoot on to the other side of the passageway, I guess you could call it. The road, maybe? I don't know. I think it's supposed to be a road. So that's kind of changed. But other than that, it's a pretty faithful recreation as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. What do you guys think, you know? Those that have played both versions. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And I'll be asking that a lot. I'll be asking what you guys prefer in 96 and what you prefer here, if anything. Because, again, those people do exist that, you know, can't find anything good about this game. And God bless them. Ah, but don't God bless that. Let's try this one more time, huh? And maybe I'm just jumping on the wrong spot. Let's try and go a little bit further back. That was it. There we go. You know, Lara couldn't do a lot of this stuff back in the 90s, the late 90s, and indeed the early 2000s. I mean, even Angel of Darkness, she didn't have this sort of acrobatic skills and traversal abilities. And I quite like it. I think it's a great addition to the series. You know, it's a lot of fun to do this kind of stuff and just swing around on all these ancient poles that probably shouldn't even exist, but they're there, so why not? You know, it really is a lot of fun to do this kind of stuff. For me, at least. God damn, come on, Winter. We're just getting going with this, and you're taking damage and dying left and right. Jesus, man, what's wrong with you? There we go. Mountain Caves, Peru. Finished. And we're going to keep rolling and head on into the next level. Because that shouldn't take too long either. Yay, jump for joy. Oh, these fucking things. I cannot wait until we get to the point where those messages go away. I got it. I got it. I got it. And you can't fucking turn them off either, so on a replay, yeah, they suck and they're fucking annoying. First timers, yeah, it's great for them. In fact, I needed them my very first time when I played Legend, so I'm not gonna knock them, man. You know, I know why they exist and why they're there and whatnot, but yeah, they do get very fucking annoying on a replay. And you can't shut them off. What's up with that? And I think they're going to be around for a few episodes as well. I don't think they actually go the fuck away until, what episode will it be? Maybe episode 5 is when they disappear entirely and we'll never see them again. Could be wrong on that again, though. Very possible. Look at his buddy. He was just hanging out. Oh, Marv, I don't want to fuck with her, man. She got guns. Why don't you take her down? I'm just gonna sit back and watch. But he's not gonna sit back and watch. I do like the adrenaline dodge, though. I think it's pretty cool. It was a motherfucker for me, personally, to kind of learn how to do it and do it right, but I enjoy it. Kind of strange how they introduce it here and then never really did anything with it again. So it must not have been too popular with everybody. I mean, it was in Underworld, but it was pretty well hidden and entirely easy to play the whole game and not even realize it was there. In fact, that's the first... That happened to me the first 3 times I played Underworld. Again, it was one of those instances where when I finally played the PlayStation 3 version and was looking at the trophy list to see what I missed on a later playthrough after my first one. I forget which number exactly. I probably just said 3, didn't I? Yeah, anyways, I forget exactly. Because much like Tomb Raider Anniversary and Tomb Raider Legend, I first played Underworld on the PlayStation 2 because it actually released on that, which not a lot of people seem to know about for some reason. And it was also on the Wii as well, which I've never actually seen that version. But I have read about it, and multiple people have vouched for its existence, and I trust those people to be sources of Tomb Raider knowledge. So I'm not about to deny that it exists just because I've never seen it sitting on a shelf. Oh, this was on the Wii too. Yeah, that's right. Anniversary was on the Wii. And they got exclusive puzzles, if I remember right. They had like rubbing puzzles where you'd use the little motion control to do rubbings of stones. And I don't think they unlocked anything. I think it was just kind of something to sandwich in the motion controls of the Wii, you know. But I could be wrong on that again. I don't have a Wii either. So if anybody does and has played this on Anniversary, feel free to let me know that as well. And in fact, let me know how it actually played on the Wii, because I cannot imagine trying to play one of these fucking games on that. But I'm not a fan of motion controls. I've tried a couple of games on the Wii and just couldn't get into it, man. Just not my thing. Much like apparently getting onto that pole is not my thing, and now getting back onto the crate or the cage. There we go. Now we're rolling. Oh shit! Forgot about those guys. Fucking Minox. Always eating up your spaceships and attacking you while you're swinging through the air. No good little critters. I just totally spaced off what the fuck I was talking about before I got distracted with the Wii thing. Sorry about that. I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about. What was... Oh, that was just something that fell. I thought I saw another bat shadow. So let's see if we can make it into the pool. I typically always miss this. Just like that. Oh, there's another bat. I thought there was another one around somewhere. Yeah, this playthrough's off to a great start. Good Lord, Winter, get with it. It's the first episode. You gotta make a good impression on people. There they are. This game came out like what, 6 years before. Oh no, it'd be 7 years. So 7 years before TR 2013, and the fucking wolves look better in this. They don't look like they're made out of plastic or rubber or something. Yeah. It's always kind of funny for me to play these sort of older games and then play something newer and just kind of see differences between, oh, what do you call it? Quality, maybe? I don't know. Attention to detail. I'm not sure what the right word for it would be, but it's always kind of interesting for me to play these older games and to play something new and see something in an older game and then see the exact same thing in a newer game and see how much more crap it looks in the newer game. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I think Anniversary is a pretty good case of that. When it comes to the wolves, at least. You could probably argue that Lara looks better here as well, and that's a matter of personal opinion. I mean, I think the engine that they had for Legend and Anniversary works pretty good. I mean, everything does look good as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's viewable for me. I mean, I got no problem with it. Even the PlayStation 2 version, I can still play the PS2 versions of these games to this day and think that they look good. And again, it was kind of a tough choice for me to choose between the PS2 version of this game or the 3, but I've already explained myself on that. If you want to see what the PS2 version looks like in HD, I've got a video on my channel somewhere. It'll probably be pretty close to the top of the list at this point. And there'll be a link to it, a direct link to it, whenever we get to the episode for extras and trophies, which isn't going to happen until we actually finish the main campaign. So we've got a while before we get to that. Alright, impractical lock number 2 is unlocked. Those doors weren't as intimidating as the first one, but still a nice fancy touch. And must have been hell to build, man. Those things gotta be fucking heavy. I wouldn't want to try and put those things on. Kinda makes you wonder what a screen door that size would look like. I'll bet it would look just like a big-ass screen door. Oh, god damn it. Come on, Lara. You gotta do this one. Nice. Look at that. We are hanging on by a thread. Shit. But we're not gonna heal, man, because there's enough checkpoints. It doesn't fucking matter. We're gonna hold off on that for a while. In fact, we're actually gonna be saving med packs up for something that comes up later in the series. A couple of different areas, actually. Right now, we don't really need them. That's probably not what I... Oh, yeah, that's not what I was meant to do. Okay. I always enjoyed playing the 96 version of this game and seeing how many med packs I could keep on me throughout the whole thing and see how many I had at the end of it. I think the most I ever made it up to was maybe 32. It was either the late 29s, you know, the high 29s, or the low 30s. It's been a while since I've played that game, you know. It's a great game, and it's got loads of replayability to it, but for some reason, I haven't played it in a couple years. And normally with the Tomb Raider games, you know, I'm obviously a huge fan of the series, you know. It's one of my top 5 series. Normally, with games like this that are on my favorites list, you know, I'll try and get around to them once a year. But Tomb Raider 96, yeah, it's been a couple years since I played it for some reason. Nothing against it. I mean, I think it's the best one of the core era. And definitely of the PS1 era games. Though Last Revelation does come in at a close second for me. Because that was actually the first core era game that I played and finished. So I've got a soft spot for that one. You know, it's got the nostalgic edge, if you will. But Tomb Raider 96, yeah, it's definitely it's a toss-up between the two. And there we are. City of Vilcabamba, complete. And we are less than 30 minutes into the game so far. I'm going to try and do it in under 6 hours, if I can. 6 hours or less. I've done it before. I think we can do it again. But let's see what we've got unlocked. Character bios. Bitchin'. And with that, we'll go ahead and break this off, and we will pick up the series, pick up the game in the next chapter. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching episode 1 of Tomb Raider Anniversary. You've been great. I've been Winter, and I'll see you on the next one. Everybody take care out there.